Ghanatube SUBCRIBE for open some ahudo ATR. Now odi weni action here said the latest, the happenings, the shocks, the happy ones and all that was for Nina Ghanatube so and I was Ebeka. It's personal young wasted time Bibiano. It was for Dimechi. Nanya a war on young Goti and Bra.
May 2025 has dropped significantly to 18.4% year-on-year from the 21.2% recorded in April. The Ghana Statistical Service attributed the sharp drop to reduction in transportation fares and decline in non-food inflation. The government statistician Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu explained that the reduction in fuel prices at the pumps and the subsequent reduction in transport fares contributed to the May inflation. Take a listen.
A year-on-year inflation of 18.4% for May 2025, down from 21.2% year-on-year inflation in April 2025. And this May 2025 inflation is actually influenced by food inflation of 22.8%, down from 25% in April 2025, and non-food inflation of 14.4%, down from 17.9% in April 2025. On month-on-month basis, the 0.7% inflation recorded in May from April 2025, or in relation to April 2025, was also influenced by food inflation of 0.9%, which was maintained from the April food inflation of 0.9% and non-food inflation of 0.6%, down from 0.7% recorded in April 2025. Now, the month-on-month inflation is also influenced by inflation on locally produced items, 0.8%, down from 1.0% in April 2025, and inflation on imported items of 0.6%, down from 0.4% in April 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, what are the key highlights of today's presentation on inflation? The presentation shows that headline inflation declined to 18.4% in May 2025, down from 21.2% in April 2025 and 23.1% in May 2024, marking the lowest rate since February 2022. This is a fifth straight year-on-year decline in inflation and a clear signal that price stability is returning to our economy.
Joining me on Zoom with reaction is Head of Finance at Melbourne Capital, Nelson Kujo Kwagbeji. Good afternoon to you. So, May inflation has dropped to 18.4% from 21.2% in April, largely due to reduced transport fares and fuel prices. How sustainable do you think this decline in inflation is, considering the underlying structural challenges?
All right, thank you very much, Darrell, for having me, and good afternoon once again. Just as the director said, the underlying factor that contributed significantly towards the reduction of the Cedi, towards the reduction of inflation, is the stability of our functional currency, the Cedi. And so, to the extent that we continue to manage our foreign currency, policy, to the extent that we continue to stabilize the Cedi, we expect inflation to go down, or inflation to take a nosedive going into the future. The prices of fuels at the pump has reduced, and that has culminated into the reduction in 15% of transportation fares. And so once we are able to manage our currency very well, once we continue to make sure that the Cedi continue to stabilize, we expect inflation to continue to reduce significantly.
Yeah, but people are beginning to question the outlook following what we saw yesterday, where the government is moving to impose a 1 Cedi tax on a liter of petroleum products. That has generated a lot of debate. How do you foresee that impacting inflation going forward, as well as consumer purchasing power?
All right, I don't foresee any significant impact on inflation. as I did indicate, the underlying factor for the reduction in prices of goods and services is the stability of the Ghanaian cedi. To the extent that the Ghanaian cedi continues to remain stable going into the future, I don't foresee this 1 Ghana cedi fuel price increments to have any significant impact on inflation. In any case, there are projections that the cedi will continue to appreciate further, even to a single digit, before bouncing back. And so if the trend continues, I don't think the 1 Ghana cedi, fuel levy or fuel tax will have any significant impact on inflation. However, when it comes to consumer purchasing power, of course, any time taxes have been increased, it will significantly impact on purchasing power of consumers. And so we expect a certain level of erosion of the purchasing power of households and those who actually go to the pumps to buy fuel.
Well, I guess a few more people may be concerned, especially when, based on the data that we have received from the Ghana Statistical Service, the reduced transport fares and fuel prices also contributed to May inflation going down. You talk about the cedi, which is for you the major factor when it comes to whether or not inflation is going to go down going forward. The president, John Mahama, yesterday at an event suggested that the real value of the cedi is around 10 to 12 to the dollar. People didn't like that. He said that. Talk to us about how such statements could impact inflation outlook, also market confidence.
All right. You remember after the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of Bank of Ghana, the governor didn't give us a target rate. I think you questioned me on this a few days ago. And I made mention of the fact that when a target rate is given, what will happen is that it will spark speculative activities within the market. Don't forget that people are still having foreign currency, hard currency in their homes, and so they are just waiting to see the volatility level of the exchange rate. And once the president mentioned that the exchange rate will stabilize within the band of 10 to 11 Ghana cedis, it will certainly spark speculative activities. And so people who are having dollars may either want to release it into the market now, or others who may want to still take some level of risk. They may want to hold, the hard foreign currency in anticipation that the price will certainly go up. And so comments like this will certainly provoke and spark speculative activities, most especially within the informal market, which is being normally done by the black market guys.
Yeah, and doesn't that also beg the question, why is the central bank not setting a target? Wouldn't it make things easier?
Well, as I did indicate, any target by Bank of Ghana will spark speculation. People will be holding hard currency in their homes. They may not want to release it, believing that once the rate go up, they will release it into the market and make their spread. So I think it would have been better for the president not to. In any case, the president also said that when the cedi appreciates excessively, it will certainly affect our export earning, which means that the government itself is eyeing a specific rate or a band of rate within which the cedi cannot go down. So with this comment, I think it will provoke or spark speculation within the market, most especially the informal market.
Okay.
I was having a master pass and would image the cotier and send a buy. Now the comment in the Kime, our comment section. I'm much pray. I can Nina Eddie Amo. Aha, Ghanatube for the story as usual. I was here for my crown.